Kind of like that perfect shop where they sell the super good soup, and it's that hole in the wall that everybody
Yeah.
knows about because it's so good, but you'd fly by it if you didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Utilizing the various channels like social media and YouTube, I think, is an undervalued and basically a free resource.
Hmm.
So any level of exposure beyond like the baseline being like where we're at. So
Hmm.
having anything that's bringing attention to the mall as a whole, but in particular you downstairs there.
Hmm.
How long have you been downstairs?
We moved downstairs in August, so
Okay, so
yeah.
not even 6 months. Like
Right.
we're
Yep.
still getting there. Okay,
Hmm.
all right. How often are classes then?
We try to do, 2 to 3 classes or workshops per week, and we kind of switch up the types of workshops that we offer.
Okay,
Hmm.
so it's weekly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, okay, awesome. And you keep it kind of changing so that if I wanted to continue to learn and have something new to do, I could stick with it. Like it's almost like being a part of a club or something.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. We have a lot of regulars for our glass classes, especially. Um, they're kind of project based, so we'll pick a type of project like we're going to make a night light or we're going to do this, and then people can kind of tweak their designs to suit their own creativity.
Mhm.
Um, but we'll have lots of people kind of come back week after week to make those projects, which is really fun.
That
So
is cool. Like
yeah.
it's a good activity. I guess I didn't think of it at being so like scheduled or like consistent in my life. Like I guess when I had thought about it, I was like, oh, that one visit would be, and then I will have seen it all. Like
Hmm.
I guess it's more than probably what you can do in one visit.
Yeah. That's good to know that that's the way
Yeah,
you're
well,
thinking about it. That's good because for me, I feel like we have a really wide variety of things that we do, and there's a lot you can do with each medium, right? So like with fused glass, you can do things that are functional. You can do things that are just, for beauty, just for decoration. Same thing with clay and potteries. Like it's so, yeah,
it's
that's
more
good to
than
know.
just a one-time
Yeah.
experience like a movie theater or something.
Hmm.
It's I guess when one thinks of like I guess as a guy traditionally a workshop or woodworking is not something that you would go into and spend an hour at a shop and then say, okay, I'm having done it now.
Hmm.
It's more like a skill that you'd hone into, and then it's a craft that taking your time and developing a project that it's like anything else. If it takes time and effort, then it will wind up being that much greater,
Hmm.
right? Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, I guess I was thinking like, well, I'll take my girlfriend on a date maybe,
Hmm.
and we'll make a thing out of it, and
Yeah.
it'd be fun, which I guess can be like part of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that there's people come to us for a lot of different reasons, right? We have a group of people that will come for, honing the craft. We definitely have people who come on dates and, girls' night out, friends stuff, that experiential part. Um,
So do you have like a though a reoccurring like group or a consistent few that come on a regular basis?
yeah, we have a pretty good handful of regular customers, whether they're, you know, little kids,
Mhm.
that come to all of our kids' camps or kids' night out or whatever it might be, or their parents will come. Um, I
Yeah.
can think of a good handful of people who are pretty great supporters.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. I think it'd be fantastic to have like a community almost, to
Hmm.
have it be like something that you come together for together, where it's bigger than, say, it's not just about the pottery. It's also about the continued community working in the pottery field, yes, but together through a class can be fun. Like by yourself, it's just you, right?
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy more or less taking a workshop with somebody. You know.
Uh, I think most of the people that come in either come in with their friends or their family or they're on a date or whatever. We do have a handful of people who will come in just by themselves, and I think for them it's maybe more like self-care or art as therapy kind of thing, or trying to find time, like carve out that time for themselves and their creativity, which I can relate to because that's tough to make time for something that seems like it.
Like you
Yeah.
don't have time. I want to
Yeah.
make time for something when it's like
Right.
I can't make time for myself, but you need to.
Right. It feels like, oh, art, this creating this art is a luxury. I don't have time for this, but really I know I'm a better person when I actually sit down at the pottery wheel, so I think making that a priority is helpful.
Okay. By the way, you were talking about bringing somebody with you. I'm curious now, kind of on the business side of things, what brought you to it? Did you go into business by yourself?
Well, yes and no. So my husband is a super supporter. He and I are 50-50 owners, or what is it, 70-30. We're a women-owned business.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, so I bought Hot Plate 5 years ago, well, almost 6 now,
Wow.
from Sue Kensington. She started Hot Plate in 2002. So we're 21 years old.
Yeah, like 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So you've grown legs and have made it, well, through the housing bubble and that crash. And then COVID, that was like hard on a lot of people. I can't imagine you were really loving it.
No, I did not love it. We did a lot of pivoting. But I'm proud of what we did. We did a lot of to-go kits, so we took all of our inventory and finally put it online so people could like go through to see what we have and buy to-go kits, and then we had these lockers where people could pick it up, no contact, and then drop it off, no contact,
And get it, put it in the kiln
Yep,
kind of
and
thing.
then we send it through the kiln, and I mean the kiln gets to like 2,000 degrees, so that killed everything.
Yes.
Wasn't really worried about it.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Wow, so that's an innovative way to have really, I can't believe you managed to, that's like we're closed but still here for you.
Yeah.
We're hanging in.
we definitely did the best.
Wow.
So right before COVID started, I had decided that was when I wanted to add in our pottery wheels, or expand our pottery wheels rather. When I took over, I bought 4 pottery wheels and put them in the back of the studio because that was my love, my passion. And then January 2020, I'm like, okay, this is my year. I'm gonna expand this. We're gonna make it bigger. And then it was like late February, I signed the lease on the Claywork studio, which was on 3rd Street. And then COVID hit and we couldn't open. So we did some more pivoting. I had always intended to like have it open for community members to come in and rent space. But we were going to start with, holding classes and workshops first and then add in community members later.
Okay.
But we had to switch that because our artist members could come in anytime. They didn't need to be supervised and they could kind of socially distance themselves,
Gotcha.
So we started with the members and then added classes, and we made it through. It worked out.
Whoa.
So.
Yeah, it's like by the hair on my chinny chin.
Yeah.
I guess really, now you had mentioned 3rd Street. Is there still a studio there that you're working?
No. So we have like kind of leapfrogged around. So we had the studio on the corner, and then opened the Claywork studio on 3rd Street, just next to Snowbound Books, so just up the hill.
Okay.
Right? And then we moved Hot Plate into the Masonic on the ground, Washington Street level.
Yeah.
Then we moved Clayworks into the same studio because we were, when we were upstairs here, we had to take all of the pottery from the studio and then go down the sidewalk outside
Okay.
to the Clayworks studio where our kilns were. And that winter, whatever winter that was fairly mild and there wasn't a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have to do it again with a worse winter. So we moved everything into this building and then finally condensed everything down. So.
Oh, wow. It's been a long trip coming to where you're. I see now. Like
yeah.
it's
It's been a lot of kind of piecemealing things, but I like having our studios together. I like people being able to see the pottery wheels, and for our Clayworks members, our artist members, to have that kind of more community sense where they can come in and work and then people are there and they don't feel like they're by themselves. And so I like that feeling of community, and they can talk to people and ask questions and that stuff. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what it's all about, and having it all under one roof makes it really coherent. I guess really, I didn't realize how much of a, yeah, I don't want to say, it sounds awful. That sounds really, really tough.
It was so awful. I don't want to move again, and I'm sure at some point it'll happen, but I don't want to move again.
Well, hopefully the next move is one that is well planned in advance, and
Right.
to a place that's even better.
Right. I hope that if and when we move again, that it's on our terms, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
You have made it through what some have not, and what some might say is quite an accomplishment, I would think. That's in and of itself a testimony to your like endurance here. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
So I know we had talked before. You had kind of a unique take on the timing when you had purchased, and to come back to that, but also one of the objectives I have is to bring awareness to like the resources we have in the community if one wanted to be self-employed or go into the legal structuring of the business, say they're at that stage, and maybe if they wanted more guidance or just I've again and again come across people that were surprised that places like Lake Superior Community Partnerships and Northern Initiatives, I know you had mentioned. Could you talk a little about that?
Yeah. So, like I said, I bought Hot Plate from the previous owner. I utilized Northern Initiatives for my funding. They were fabulous. I think I told you I did not have the greatest credits, and they were still really, really willing to work with me. They connected me with Alex Kofsky, who was with Accelerate UP, and he's the one who helped me put together my business plan. And then Lance Wolf, I want to say with Michigan Works, I think. Or is it
He's
this?
Small Business Development. It's a long acronym. I'm not going to try and nail it with you.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is either. But I did have help, from Accelerate UP and from some other local organizations to put together my business plan and my financial projections that I needed to apply for the loan. And then I did that through Northern Initiatives, and they were amazing, super easy to work with. And then they also had access, or I also had access to a business coach at the time. And then they have a great like online portal with all kinds of resources for business owners. So they're great, and I can't speak highly enough of them. I loved working with them. So,
awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's really great. So you worked with really a few different organizations and people from I know Lance is actually up at the University of Michigan Tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the few that you named here, that's did it cost you anything?
No, I was shocked.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So like really, it doesn't. There's no reason why somebody couldn't start right now and go meet with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just have to reach out and talk to them, and they've
Schedule
got
an
a,
appointment,
yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah, like they have a ton of knowledge and help. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. I know they've helped me along the way in many sense, education to the specifics in my situation or my business, and yeah, I guess really it doesn't matter if you're an existing business or a large one, a small one. It's a networking tool, really, in large part. So. You had I believe you were pregnant. Is that?
Yeah. Yes. The timing of the timing of the sale was maybe not the greatest. um, so what was it? She posted online that she wanted to retire and she was going to be selling the business, and then a mutual friend tagged me in this post, and she was like, "Oh, you should buy this." There is no way. I was pregnant with our third, and I was working at Northern. I was the assistant director of the career services office, so it was a pretty good job. And I was like, "There's no way." But I was telling students, "Oh, you should follow your dreams. It's okay if it doesn't make you as much money. Like, don't go into accounting just because your parents say that you shouldn't be an English major." Like, so I had to put my money where my mouth was, like literally, I guess, or figuratively.
Walk the walk.
Yeah, definitely. So I ended up, working with these organizations, and I ended up Sue, the previous owner, was super helpful. She was, really helpful in walking me through. I had the ceramics background, but I hadn't run a pottery business before, so she was great with that. And then I had Tav in December. I went on maternity leave, and then we closed on the loan at like the beginning of February, and then I came back from maternity leave for a couple of weeks, and then it was full-time business ownership.
Goodness.
It was
a
something.
busy winter, like
It
full of surprise.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, that's a year. What year was that?
So
18.
that was 2018.
Okay.
February 2018 was when we closed on the loan. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's really something. Mm-hmm. Would you have thought like that? It wasn't really planned, was it? Like,
No,
I mean, it was sort of like, well, maybe some point,
someday. So
is there a good day to really like, or do you just need to jump in like that?
I think you probably just need to jump in. I graduated from Northern with my degree in ceramics, and that was in 2009. And then there wasn't any place to work or like have a studio unless you were trying to build one in your house, and that's a lot of equipment and space and all of the things. So one of the things I had been working towards just kind of on the side in my spare time was, trying to put together this nonprofit for a nonprofit arts center. And so I had all of this like notes and ideas and programming, and like all of this stuff squirreled away in this Google Drive folder. And thinking at some point this will happen. At some point, I ended up getting my master's in public administration while I was at Northern, in kind of anticipation of maybe at some point that happening.
Okay.
And then it just went a totally different route. I'm in the for-profit realm, and that's totally fine. So yeah, it's been good.
It's kind of like if I were to say, because you had this goal to achieve these nonprofit gallery and workshop kind of aspiration, that maybe this presented itself as a possibility because you were already, and maybe you could have never seen that it would go this route.
Yeah, for sure. I think the universe opens up doors sometimes that you don't expect. They're like, okay, well, here's how you can get there.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the way that you expected, but here's how you're gonna get there instead. So
It's
yeah.
it's being out there sometimes. It's really just making yourself available to possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And not stressing about if the timing is right or not, because it probably won't be.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's something I stress is like, talking to people, I hear that which I used to be like. So, the some days and the when I got this or when I've achieved this. And I feel like it was a few years back. I think it was a family member said, if you don't pick a date, it will never occur. You'll always have that like excuse or that when I've got something that it just it's really like you really, whether it's ideal timing or not, need to start somewhere. Why not start today? Almost like
Yeah.
you don't have to be having finished the race today, but you need to have begun working towards it. Really, what was working towards it in the beginning for you? You kind of have described like going through these various stages. When did you find out that you were going to be a business owner?
October 2017.
Yeah, okay. It really was like brought to your attention.
Yep,
when
like, okay,
here you go.
here it is. Yeah, like I said, I had worked with a few different groups to try the nonprofit route, and for one reason or another, it just kind of fizzled. There were lots of us with lots of different ideas and personalities, and things just never gelled the way they needed to actually kind of progress forward, which is fine. I think that it was supposed to work out that way because this is
where it
yeah.
went for you. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a bad route. I don't think you've but achieved what you ultimately wanted to. I don't know if it was about the community originally and maybe just having followed that career, hobby, passion, what you would have called, what was pottery for you, I guess? What did you pick to go to school and study it? What did you learn maybe, I guess, or why did you choose to study?
Well, so originally I thought I wanted to be an architect. So I left the state, went to school in New York State for architecture, spent a year and a half hating it and failing my classes.
Oh.
Because turns out I didn't actually want to live and breathe buildings. But I thought that it was like the way to do art and make money. And then it was like, I don't remember what year it was, but I ended up moving back to the UP and transferred to Northern. I changed my major like 18 times and thought I wanted to be an art ed. And once I started going into the classrooms or like shadowing, I realized I didn't want to have to grade art. So I was trying to figure out what was that even going to look like. When you're an art ed, you have to take different art classes, and then you pick a concentration. So I had taken a ceramics class. That was the first time I had worked with clay or my art. I don't remember working with clay at all in high school or anything like that. So that was the first time, and I was hooked. It was amazing. My professor was Sam Chung. He's a phenomenal artist. He's currently in, I want to say, Arizona State University, but
Okay.
he's the one who got me hooked on ceramics.
He was instrumental in getting you to that.
He was so good.
Okay.
I loved, so sort of a tangent, but I loved in art school or at Northern, there's like two different wings of the building, right? There's the like newer side, which is all like kind of the cleaner arts. There's photography and the computer studios and
Cleaner
like
arts.
it was cleaner. And then the side that I felt most at home on was this messy, like three-dimensional side where you had the sculpture and ceramics and metals.
It's like tangible. You can
Yeah,
hold that in your hands, like
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess really to wrap things in the sake of time, where do you see things for you and the studio and your community going forward?
So going forward, I would love to see our classes and workshops grow. I think they're really a great way for people to create a community. Um, selfishly, of course, I would love to see our classes grow because revenue is great.
Well, sure, sure. Yeah, keeping the business
Right,
alive is
right.
great. Uh-huh.
But I mean, socially, I see so many posts on community groups. So, how do you meet people? How do you find friends? Where do you go? And I know that our classes are really great for that. Our workshops are really great for meeting new people that you might not have met before.
They are.
Yeah. So.
They are. I was at it was a university innovation week. So it was what would you call it? It was an activity amongst faculty and people in the community that wanted to be a part of it. So you had a very diverse group anyhow, and they put Legos on the table, and we were told basically to build certain things while collaborating and discussing. And what it was is I think it took the breaking the ice, like anxiety or that beginning, like out of your mind, so that it was really at the soul or at the heart of somebody's, who they were and kind of what they want or what they're thinking. And it got really like, it was an expedited like process to then be like, oh, I know this person, we're connecting. Like, yeah, I agree. I think artwork would be a great place to, come to know people in the community for sure.
Yeah.
So how does one come to get signed up for a class and that?
Yeah. So we post all of our classes. Like we have a website, right? So
What's the website?
It's hotplatepottery.com, and then there's a calendar link right on there. You can kind of take a look at all of the classes and workshops that we've got coming up.
Can you just show up, or do you have to sign up?
We recommend you sign up ahead of time. So
Okay.
a lot of things will have, for our canvas classes, we prep the canvases for you. For pottery wheels, we have a limited number of wheels, so pre-registration is necessary. But
Okay.
yeah, so right online and.
Excellent.
Mhm.